Anyway, my pre-theory
Go on.
was, and I never really thought, I just thought it would be interesting that it wasn't anything. Like the numbers weren't anything. Every room wasn't really anything. It was just this cycle of bureaucracy.
Like Cube.
Like Cube, exactly. I don't know if you've seen the movie Cube.
No, I haven't.
I'm going to spoil the movie Cube.
Yeah.
But they get stuck in this cube. And
Horror
then
movie. There's a giant cube.
There's a
It's like the
cube.
biggest a building.
And then
Right,
you move
okay.
cube to cube, and each cube has a different trap in it.
Right.
And
it's like Saw, but in a cube.
yeah,
It's in a cube.
It's
okay.
cubed.
And you're like, why are they in this cube? What's going on? Why
Yeah.
is there why is so much cube? Why is this cube filled with fire and this cube's filled with wires that cut you into
What's
bits
with
of
the
lasers
cubes?
or whatever?
Yeah.
But then
What is with the
but,
cube?
but then it turned out at the end, the reason the cube exists and they're all stuck in the cube is because somebody came up with the idea for a cube. And the money was there to make the cube. And so they just
And
built
so
the
there's all
cube.
these
That makes
different
sense.
departments coming together, and
Yeah.
nobody really knew what anybody was doing, and it made this thing, and then they put people in it, but for nothing. And I think
And it's just a cube.
yeah, it's just a cube that
It's just a
kills you
cube.
Sometimes
sometimes.
a cube's just a cube.
And I thought that this was a company that started 150 years before or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it kind of, it all just kind of got lost in the shuffle of what they were doing.
They're just getting money and burning money.
Yeah,
and
and like who's in charge? Kind of this old guy, but
Yeah,
does it mean
yeah.
anything? Not really. I thought it could have been that. Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
a
that's
just a
interesting.
cycle of like a bureaucratic nonsense.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
that. Should we do some spoilers?
Let's do some spoilers.
What was your theory?
So my theory was, my assumption was, by the end of this season, they would explain exactly what was happening, and they have explained to some degree some of it. My theory is about Lumon's overall goal in the world.
Yeah.
So of course, at the end of season 2, at the end of season 1, Mark learns that his wife Gemma,
Yep.
who he assumed had died in a car crash, was in fact working in Lumon as
Yep.
a number of things. So
Yep.
we learn that she is Miss Casey, who's like the corporate wellness officer.
Yeah, she's kind of
thing.
like a bit of an auditor as well because she
Yeah.
watches people a bit. and
But,
Yeah.
but in the
little
second
things.
season, we learn that she is not just Miss Casey. She has been severed 25 times.
Yeah.
And she has been given different roles.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're testing to see how well she will do in various traumatic situations.
and,
Going to the
and whether
dentist,
that barrier will break.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
into other
Yeah, yeah.
personalities. Yeah.
to the point where at one point they are testing her like her reaction to a real traumatic experience that happened to her in her life. So her and Mark wanted to have a baby, it didn't work out, and then she had to, in real life, they had to disassemble the crib that they built, in their house because the baby wasn't coming. And so in this second season, they're like, let's give her that job in her severed life
Yep.
to see if she will emotionally react to
Yeah.
that, if she'll remember. And she doesn't.
No.
So,
Yeah.
the
And also, will she remember Mark as well? Like, will she
Yeah,
remember?
yeah,
which
yeah.
is really bizarre as well. Like,
So
yeah.
towards the end of the first season, Helly, when she escapes, when her Innie escapes into the real world briefly, someone in that inner circle of Lumon says that they're looking forward to a future where everybody is severed.
Yeah.
And so my
Yeah.
theory is that their goal, because they're not just a corporation in it for the money, but they've got this weird cult vibe to
Yep.
it, is that they want to
The
sever
goats.
everybody in the world.
Yeah.
So the idea is that they're in the future they want to restructure society so that everybody gets severed probably when they're a child. And so everybody in the world has an innie and an outie, and the outie gets to experience kind of like an intellectual life free of worries and what have you.
Yeah.
And their innie just experiences like work-based hell forever.
And he's almost a separate person.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I think the goal ultimately is that the outie doesn't even remember that the innie exists.
Yeah,
And vice
yeah.
versa, because you can never, like if your entire life is work
Mm.
and you never remember that there was ever anything else.
Yeah.
Or that there is another version of you, that you would just be like, because and the goal for a lot of this stuff seems to be they're testing the entire sort of range of human endeavor
Yep.
downstairs to see what you can do while you're severed and what little treats and things you need
Yeah.
to keep going in that way. You get a little pizza party or what have
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And so the idea would be like it's a society where all the outies never experience any work or anything, any discomfort of any kind. And then the innies are just like, it sucks.
It sucks.
But
yeah.
they don't know.
But
because
they
that's-
don't know.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, like, because in this world, it seems like according to the inner circle of Lumon, the outies are kind of should be rewarded.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
innies aren't real people.
Yeah.
So they get the punishment. of life.
Yeah.
There's some theories
Mm.
about what's
I love theories.
going on for the future.
I think
Some of
mine's
these,
correct.
yeah,
What-
yours
I
is
think your
correct.
theory is really solid. I mean, because
Yeah.
the idea that they're saying that they're doing this so they could stop people experiencing pain, which could lend to like, what you were
I
saying.
think that is. I think the idea, because again, they're not just a business. They're not doing it to get rich, although obviously they are.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they're like, we want to change. We believe in this thing, and I
Yeah.
think it's a sort of heaven and hell thing.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah,
part-
heaven and hell
Like
makes
you
sense.
you
Yeah.
take the part of you that isn't any good and you
Yep.
punish it.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's doing all the work.
Yeah.
First of all, I think this is just something that I think. I think because it seems like Helly's innie is preferred by her father, so that's how Mark is going to get out. Innie Mark, because that personality is the one that.
Is most desired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Because
we
where
did-
is he going? Because at the
Yeah.
end, there's the big decision of where he has to decide between his
Yeah, we
wife,
didn't
who
talk
he
about
doesn't know,
Yeah.
or staying, and
Yeah.
he stays in the Severance.
Well, he does a favor for his outie because his outie wanted his wife to be free, and
Yeah.
so he
did
frees
it.
her. But then he's like,
I do feel like he made that decision on the spot as well.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
he wasn't.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
thinking it through.
some
yeah.
people. I mean, there's some theory. I've seen some people go, well, actually, that's Helena in the downstairs, but I don't think.
I think they've even
okay.
come out and said it's not.
Yeah, Britt
Yeah, right.
Lauer, who plays
They
Helena,
said, "Shut up."
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
shut
it's,
up.
it's not. But it's just like, he's made the call to be like, my outie loves this woman, and
Yeah.
but I think like kind of people on the internet love to be like, well, this person's to blame. This is the bad person. This is the
I don't
good
think
person,
people on the
whatever.
internet love
But I
that.
think it's the outie Marcus loves this woman.
Yeah,
And so he's like,
yeah.
I'm going to do you. This is what you wanted: is your wife to be out of. This is the most I can do. Is I can get your wife out of trouble.
Yeah.
But then this is my life in here, and I'm going to live that.
Yeah.
So.
For the next 15
Yeah.
minutes or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
he gets.
yeah. Like, is the next season going to be kind of like like a siege of the Lumon offices?
I
Where
have
they're-
no idea.
Yeah.
But James, you had more theories.
Well, these aren't all my theories. One is that
You could take them.
Sure, okay, this is mine.
These are my words, not my opinions.
One that is Milchik is a mole. That came out
Oh.
before. I don't think he is.
No, but I think he's going to switch sides.
Yeah, well, there's a
Because middle management got to choose.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's right.
Variety. They spoke to Ben Stiller about season 3, and the kind of how they approached Cobel in this season. They kind of switch her kind of allegiance, and she said it's the same with Milchik. So there's going to be a moment for him where it seems like, what direction is he going to go?
Yeah.
which I think makes sense.
Absolutely.
And-
yeah. He's really interesting. I think there's a lot that's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
He does it so well as well.
He's so good,
yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
so good.
Also, like, if Cobel hadn't been fired, she would have had to do all the stuff that he does in season 2.
Yeah.
So she would have had to do the dance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He should have had to do the dance and the marching band.
God, that's good stuff. Another is Helly is pregnant,
Oh.
which could be the case.
That's interesting.
No dingers in the
No dingers down there.
downstairs.
They've all been
Downstairs.
severed. That's a vasectomy, I believe.
That's right.
Different kind of severance.
And the last one is that Rickon, who's the brother-in-law who wrote the book, he's a goat's outie. This is what people are
Okay.
saying
Alright.
because
Okay.
apparently he's got goat-like
Go on.
qualities.
Okay, sure.
He likes rock climbing. There's a lot of apparently goat imagery around him. I don't know how that works in terms of how do you put a goat's brain into a man's brain?
Yeah.
Because the idea of being severed isn't that you get into a
It
different
ain't rocket
body.
science, pal.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just change the brain.
Yeah.
So I think that's fun, but
No.
I don't think it's.
We didn't really talk about that, but I love the idea that this guy's like pop psychology book, like the dumbest sort of the
Surface level.
the most
Yeah.
surface level. Like, remember to love yourself and
Yeah.
what have you. Like,
Yeah.
That it ended up in the Lumon basement, and then they just
Yeah.
started a revolution based on that.
Yeah.
Because they've never experienced philosophy and self help
Yeah.
or whatever before, so they're like, oh, this is deep.
Yeah,
This is
incredible.
so deep.
exactly.
Do some stuff for yourself. That's cool, actually.
So those are some big wild theories. Also, it's not
Yeah.
going to be 3 years. I reckon it'll be probably 2 for the next one.
Do you reckon it's going to be that long?
I think
2
so.
years?
I
Yeah.
think they've started writing it, but they're not close to filming it. And it's so complicated. Like, that opening sequence where he's running through the office, like that took 2 months to film.
Oh, did it really?
Just
right.
that.
Yeah.
And it's so many, like you can see it, there's like the way it's intercut is.
I reckon you just have him run around.
Yeah, just
Yeah, just have it run around. Just edit
not
it in
gonna
later.
notice.
Do it in post.
We're all
of
on
it.
our phone, so just have him run back and forth.
Yeah.
around,
And tell
around,
us he's
around.
doing it as
Yeah,
he's doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm running through this.
I don't know. I'm looking around and I'm confused. Yeah. Anyway, great. It's good to watch a good thing.
I
Isn't
loved
it
it.
though?
Yeah.